on how I got an 800 on SAT math. You do not need to get a tutor because all the questions are out there. That actually saved me so much downtime. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Adora Yin, and today I'm going to be talking about my tips on how I got an 800 on SAT math. Now, I already uploaded a video on my SAT English tips, so you can also check that out if you would like. And I also have an SAT vlog up on the time I took it on my third try. So yeah, I took the SAT a total of 3 times and I got my 800 on maths on my second try already. So in this video, I'm just going to be talking about my tips on how I got that 800. And as you can see here, I got my iPad once again, and I have all my little tips here noted down and from experience. So I hope this video is going to be helpful for some of you guys. So first things first, the one thing that I cannot stress enough is that you should familiarize yourself with the Desmos calculator embedded in the test before you start doing anything, basically. And this was seriously like my secret to every single question. Like, you have no idea how much you can do with this calculator. Like, on the surface it looks like it's just a graphing calculator, but the more you practice with it, the more you realize like the amount of things that you can do. Like, you can quite literally solve everything just with this calculator and never writing anything down on a piece of paper. And thank God on the new digital SAT they included this function, so definitely take advantage of it and have that calculator open as soon as you start your exam. And obviously, as I said, this is going to help you get those questions done so fast. Like, you will not waste any time trying to calculate it in your head or like doing it on paper or even like doing it manually on your own calculator. It's so much easier when you're on Desmos, and you have to familiarize yourself so you know how to answer every single question type with Desmos. And just to give you guys an example, a lot of questions have to do with equations, right? And you can basically solve any equation in there. You can just plug in the equation to the graphing calculator, and the answer should just be the roots or the zeros of the graph, which is basically like the points where the graph cuts the x-axis. And you can put in any equation in there. Like, it doesn't have to be in the form y equals mx plus c. Like, you can literally put in anything and it will tell you exactly what x is and like the different values that x can be. And I remember there were like different questions saying like, oh, like what's the smallest possible value of x, like stuff like that. It's so much easier with a calculator. Like, I'm telling you guys, you have to make use of that because that actually saved me so much downtime. Okay, and next, my second point is that you have to make sure you're reading every single question very carefully. Now, obviously, you would think that this goes without saying, but it is a lot more important than you think. Because when it comes to the SAT, the math section, you'll realize that a lot of the questions are actually kind of like just word problems, and you just have to figure out what the English language is saying in order to figure it out in the mathematical language. And basically what I do is, as I read it in English, I'm writing down on my piece of scratch paper and translating it into mathematical terms. And that way I can just plug whatever's written on my piece of paper into the calculator or just solve it immediately, and it becomes so much simpler once you do that little conversion in your head. And also, with reading the question carefully, you need to like specifically identify exactly what the question is asking, because a lot of the times there's like different variables in these questions and you have to be very clear on what it is asking you. You don't want to be doing like additional steps to solve something that you don't even actually need. Like, sometimes the questions may give you additional information that you don't actually even need for the answer, and you're just like overcomplicating it for yourself, or you expect a question to be more complicated, so you're doing like all these additional things when in reality you did not get the point of the question. Like, it should be straightforward and it should be written, and reread the like exact question bit another time if you need to, just so you don't waste extra time trying to like do all the other stuff that is not required. Okay, my next point is that the questions are going to be sorted from easy to hard. However, this does not mean that you should rush through the easier questions just to get them out of the way, because you do not want to be getting those easy questions wrong. Like, those are literally free marks up for grabs. Like, why would you intentionally miss those just by like getting complacent in your head and thinking that you got everything correctly when you're not rereading the question carefully and like not like fully understanding it? So you just try your best not to make any careless mistakes. And obviously it's like easier said than done, and you don't actually know when you're making a careless mistake until you're done with a practice exam and stuff. but like you just have to really drill it into your head that you cannot get these easy questions wrong. And the reason why I say this is because, well, so I'm not sure if you guys are completely familiar with like the format of the digital SAT, so I'll just like brief you guys really quickly. But since there are 2 modules in math, the first one is part of a question set that everybody gets, and it has like easier questions basically, even though it still ranges from easy to hard, but it's relatively easier. And based off on how you do on module 1, you either unlock module 2A or 2B. So one of these modules is going to be like a harder question set, and the other one is the easier one. And that is what you're going to get in your module 2. And you're going to be getting the questions, part of those question sets, in your second module. So that means that everybody's second module may be slightly different. And the thing is, if you get the easier module 2, so like module 2B for example, if you unlock the easier one, it caps your marks at a certain point. So that means you cannot achieve like the highest range of marks, that you cannot get like I don't know what the threshold is, but you can't hit like an 800 or like 7 something good, you know? So my point is that you should do everything you can to avoid getting those easy questions wrong in module 1, just so you can unlock your full potential on module 2 and do all those questions and reach that top mark that you are capable of. Okay, my next point is specifically about geometry questions. And I know like some people struggle with this, especially when it's in like word problem form, or it's like part of the harder questions, or part of like the questions at the end of the harder module 2. But I just need to remind you guys that there is a tool on your blue book where you have all the formulas available for geometry. So you don't have to be memorizing all of them, because it's literally right there. They even draw out the shapes for you. And you know, utilizing all the resources that are available for you in the test gives you an advantage, because some people literally neglect that when it's just right there. However, there are gonna be some things that you still have to memorize. For example, you are gonna have to memorize the circle equation yourself, because that is not listed in the formula tab. And also like knowing the trigonometric ratios by heart is also gonna help you a ton, so that you don't have to do like the Pythagoras theorem every single time, because you can just like clock the fact that you're seeing a triangle with the correct trigonometric ratios. So yeah, all that to say, you don't have to freak out if you don't know the formula by heart, because it's literally right there. However, make sure that you know which things that you do need to know by heart, you know? Oh yeah, also in that formula tab, there's also the conversion between radians and degrees if you're somebody that forgets that easily. So yeah, just keep that in mind, that is like a backup if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Okay, and then my next tip is that if you don't know the answer, you can literally just plug in every single answer choice into the equation and see what is correct. If multiple answer choices can still be somewhat correct, like if it's not giving you an exact answer, then at least you have some eliminated, like 2 eliminated or something, and you can make an educated guess, and it narrows it down for you. But usually plugging everything in should be a foolproof method, or at least it gives you a way of eliminating it or finding another criteria to figure out the correct ones after you eliminated the ones that are obviously wrong. And yeah, also in Blue Book, there is the cross out function for maths as well. So you can just cross out the ones that are obviously wrong, and you don't have to think twice about that because it's wrong as confirmed by your Desmos calculator. And there's no way that it could possibly be correct. And usually that goes for like, especially like stuff to do with negatives versus positives, you can just cross out like the other one that's not correlating to your answer. I hope that's making sense, like the way I'm explaining it in words, but yeah, I feel like, oh my god. But I feel like the more you experiment with plugging in answer choices, the better you'll get at deciphering which one is correct and wrong. And usually this just works every single time, and that's how you can get a full score, you being your calculator. Okay, and then my next tip is obviously just to practice, practice, practice. Now, obviously, this is another thing that goes without saying, but for maths, like the only way you can improve is to keep on practicing. Purely reading theory is not going to help you in maths. Like, you just have to keep doing questions and questions and questions. And with doing more questions, you will be able to identify the style of questions that College Board writes in, and also the question types. And a lot of the times I've noticed from doing so many past paper questions is that the questions are always phrased almost identically and like searching for the same kind of thing. And once you identify those types of questions and the way to do those questions, the method is basically always identical for all of the same questions of that same question type. And the only difference is just plugging in different numbers. So once you realize that these questions are all the same, essentially, it's like so much easier. Like you don't even have to think and you can just solve it just because you've done so many similar questions that it's just like automatic to you. Like it's just an automatic process in your brain. And also with doing more questions, you can identify which skills you're getting wrong. So the SAT maths, it's divided into 4 different categories of questions. And I have them listed here. There's algebra, advanced math, geometry and trigonometry, and data analysis. So algebra is stuff like linear equations, inequalities, and functions. Advanced math, quadratic equations, polynomials, and other functions. Geometry and trigonometry is just like angles, shapes, triangles, circles, all that. Data analysis is more of the graph stuff, table stuff. There's a lot more like English reading involved, and like it's basically more statistics based. So as you're doing more of these questions, you'll start to identify which skills you're weaker at and which skills need more working on, which skills don't need as much working on, that you do not need to focus on because you already have it like down to a T. So once you identify those patterns that are in your own brain and like how your own brain functions, you'll be able to figure out which ones need extra help. And also with every single question that you're getting wrong, that is not because of a careless mistake, screenshot it. Screenshot the answer explanations, and save that in a document. Save that like wherever, like whatever works for you. You can do a Google Doc, you can do like flashcards with like the question on one side and the answer on another. And seeing those, repeatedly doing those questions that are hard for you, it'll get that method in your brain. So if in any case a question that is similar to that comes up, you'll remember what you did wrong and what the correct way should be because you've seen that question multiple times now. And that's how you can work on your mistakes and correct your mistakes. And as I said, because the SAT does recycle a lot of question types, this is extremely useful because now you have like a foolproof method because you literally know like what could possibly come up. And if you got it wrong before, you have no fear because you know that that method is wrong and you know that you can't do the same thing or else you're gonna get it wrong again. And that's why doing more questions is gonna help you tremendously, because then you'll figure out all the little things going on inside your brain. And you'll also figure out the SAT, College Board, the examiners, and how like they try to trick you with like different answer choices and stuff like that. And I also said that in my English video, but it also goes for maths because we love College Board. Okay, and then my next thing is just about resources. Now this is also really similar to what I said in my English video, but I'll just elaborate a bit more on the math side of things. But I did not get a tutor for the SAT. I just only purely used free resources online that you can find very easily, free access for everyone and everything. So one, Khan Academy, I use this for English as well, but also goes for maths. And for maths, I found it useful because for maths, they also do videos. I don't think they do videos like as much for English at least, but for maths, they have video walkthroughs of how to do it and how to solve it. So you could literally just like copy their method and just like practice that, write it on paper, and you get quizzed on questions of like similar types that you can just continuously do to like get a vibe of the questions and improve. And those Khan Academy questions, they follow the same style as the actual SAT questions, and I think they sometimes also like use some of the actual SAT questions because I'm pretty sure like Khan Academy and like SAT College Board, they have like some sort of partnership because it's like linked on the websites. I'm not sure exactly, but like it's an excellent free resource and you should be taking advantage of it. They also have like just note resources on the website, which could be helpful for some areas of maths, although I feel like the videos are oftentimes more helpful because it's actually like walking you through it. But for those note styled lessons on Khan Academy, they could like show you guys like tables and stuff, and like mathematics, like rules and stuff and equations that are general but could be helpful if it's something that you're not clear about. And I would suggest looking at those for anything that you are getting continuously wrong. They also have each skill categorized by like the more basic, like beginner level to the more advanced level. So you can figure out where your level is at and just work upwards. And also similarly to English, they also have the end of course challenge, which is basically, it's styled like an official SAT math module. However, there isn't the time limitation, so you can just work through that to also identify the skills that you are weaker on. And I think for that course challenge, the questions are mixed up, so it's not like categorized by like the type of skill, like which area out of like algebra, advanced math, like whatnot, that it is on. So that way it like makes your brain scramble a little bit more, which could be helpful in like figuring out just like what you need to work on. So yeah, that is one resource that I keep on recommending and will never stop recommending, and you should definitely do all of it. And the next one is the SAT Suite Question Bank from College Board, the official College Board. And here, similarly, you can just do the skills that you got wrong. You can filter the entire question bank by the skills, and just like keep on working on the ones that you aren't as confident in. Again, it is also ranked by easy, medium, hard questions. So for me personally, because I didn't have the time to do every single question in that math question bank, because there's literally like 4,000 or something, I didn't have the time to do all of them, so I just focused on the medium and hard ones for every single skill, and I did all of those. So yeah, you could do something similar. You could just skip the easy questions if you are running low on time and you are confident that you will 100% get them correct, and you can just focus on those harder questions that will get you that last band of marks, because I'm pretty sure the difference between getting an 800 and like a 760 or something in math is really liminal. Like, it depends, like it varies between different test seasons and like different test dates and stuff, and also like the curve and whatnot, but sometimes it could just be the difference between getting one question wrong could make you like 10 points lower, you know what I mean? And at the same time, getting full score on maths could mean getting every single question right in certain test dates, but in other test dates you can still get that 800 with like a few questions wrong. So it really depends on the test date and like the curve of like the test takers that are doing it on that test date, which is why you can't really be sure like whether you want to miss out on one question or something and like still be sure that you can get an 800. But obviously at the end of the day, you just have to do your best and like not really focus on what other people are doing. But yeah, that's just to like let you guys know about the curve system. And also I got my like exercise book here today, which I also showed in my English video, but I kind of just did the same thing but for the math section with the SAT Suite question bank. So I just did every single question, as you can see, in just columns, and I just like went down. Like it was really easy. Like I just had the questions up on my laptop and I would just like scroll through, and then after like an entire page of questions, I would just tick them off and correct them. For example, if you look here, it's like tick tick tick, but if I'm like not particularly sure on a really hard question or something, then I'll just like mark it down, and then I'll also screenshot that question and put it in my own Adobe question bank. Also up here, these are like the page numbers that are from the question bank, and I just kind of like cross them off to just keep track of my progress through the question bank. And also here are like the dates that I did all these questions on, just to like hold myself accountable. And yeah, I got my 800 on maths in my December 2024 SAT, if you're curious. And what else do I have to say? Oh yeah, sometimes like I will say the question bank can, like the website itself can be kind of annoying, because like every time you, for example, if you shut down your laptop and stuff, I think it refreshes the pages, which is why I had to like keep track of the page numbers, just so like I don't lose the question number that I am on, and like I'm not like repeatedly doing the same questions, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's just like my system that I worked through and I found really helpful. So you could do something similar, or there's also an option on that SAT question bank website to print out questions, or like download a PDF of the questions, and if you want, you can like download it and have it on your iPad, or just like download it, print it out, even though that's kind of a waste of paper. But yeah, you could print it out, like have it on a document or something, like do whatever you want. But like, yeah, that's just like how the SAT question bank website works, and it was definitely my holy grail for both math and English. So yeah, definitely recommend it. You do not need to get a tutor, because all the questions are out there, and for maths, all you have to do is keep on practicing, and I keep on saying that. So I hope you listen to me. But yeah, that is actually all I have to say for SAT Maths. And obviously with every video, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below and I would try my best to respond to them. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. I do a lot of videos sharing study tips, productivity, lifestyle, stuff like that. So if you're interested in my study journey and whatnot, make sure to subscribe. I'm currently an IB student. So yeah, would really appreciate it if you supported my journey. If you like this video, also hit the like button. Also comment any other video ideas that you might have or questions that you would like me to answer in another video that could be related to SAT or like just anything in general. And also turn on post notifications so that you know when I upload my next video that could potentially help you and save your life. Good luck to whatever round of SAT you're doing, and I'm sure you're gonna do amazing if you follow my tips. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!